live from the South Lakes Complex Soccer Complex in Wichita, Kansas. I apologize. This is hosted by Visit Wichita, and it's presented by our good friends at Envision. Well, Rosina, this is kind of the game we've been waiting for, the number 1 ranked Indy Thunder versus the number 2 ranked San Antonio Jets. As I said, we're joined by you and special guest John Margist here to provide some color, some perspective, some insight on the players. So this is going to be a really exciting broadcast.
San Antonio is the home team. Jets are at home. Solid hit, a grounder over in left field. Went right to Zach. He dropped it, and he's got it back in the air again. Fumbled the ball, but did get it back up in the air.
As well.
Hard line drive over into right field, and he is out again. That one was by David Smith. David Smith had the put out for that. That one was Gerald.
Okay. Gerald Dykes. Gerald Dykes hits the first pitch as hard as he can. Sounded like it was on that right side.
Solid line drive out into left field. It went right to Zach, though. He just scooped that up, laid down, was right to him. Solid hit right along the line in left field. It is going to be fair. Rushing to... and he just got him.
Good run to the base by Zach.
That was Eric Rodriguez for the putout for the Thunder. Soft hit on the ground over into left field. Eric rushing for that ball. It's bounced off of him.
Oh, he dug it out.
And he is safe. You can see the frustration there with Eric as he tosses the ball down. It was a mere split second.
And in a game like this, it's a significant play as the Jets now take a 1-0 lead with 1 out in the bottom of the first.
So we have Axel Cox up to bat. Hard, solid line drive over to left field past Eric. They're scrambling for the ball. And he is safe again, about a second too late for Miguel out in the field. Second too late.
Once it gets past Eric Rodriguez, they're scrambling for the ball, as you mentioned. Then it's just a race at that point between the fielder and the hitter wins that race by a second. And that's a 2-0 lead for the Jets, still only 1 out. Is this Castaneda?
This is. High pop-up, a good 80 feet in the air, over into left field, just in front of Eric, and he is out. Oh, my goodness, he is out.
That's a heartbreaker there for
the base there.
him. It sounded
he kind of bounced on the base. He was just short of it, and he bounced onto it.
But that pickup would have been before that anyway?
Yes, the pickup would have been before that by David Smith.
He got some air under there. I thought he might make it on that one, but a good play by Eric Rodriguez out there.
Yeah, it was almost a launch and then bounced off the back end of the base.
Was that Eric's play officially?
Eric did, yes, number 7, Eric.
That's his second put out of the inning.
And the batter. Line driver over the left field, but it's going to, it rolled right underneath Eric's hands. But so number 16 right behind him picked it up, and that was Miguel. Picked that up, great back up there as it slid right between Eric's hands, maybe about 2 inches from his hand.
So that is the end of the first inning. So we switch sides and go to the second. It is 2-0 Jets, a good start for them.
And Corey White up at bat, and a grounder along the left baseline. See if it's right almost on the line. And he is going to be safe, so that is the first point for the Thunder by Corey White.
Thunder on the board, 2-1.
Kyle Lewis up at bat for the Thunder, another board member. High pop-up, a good 80 feet over into right field. It's back in the back outfielders. They're running for the ball. There's not a chance, so that is going to be another point for the Thunder.
Thunder waking up a little offensively in this inning for sure. That ball didn't hit the ground for a solid 5 seconds. I didn't think there was any chance that was going to be caught. It's now a 2-2 game. It's a new game, and the Thunder are here now. They've arrived.
It's a good thing there were no geese up there flying overhead, because that would have taken them out.
That ball sounded like it was crushed.
A home run, by the way, in Beep Baseball. We talked about going over some rules as we progress here. If you
line drive right to left field, and it's again right into Zach. There's just no avoiding that, not a chance. Back up at the top with Eric Rodriguez and his red headband. Hard pop up about 70 feet up into left field, bouncing right in front of Zach again. Can he grab it? No, he is safe. Oh, he is beating the field with his hand. The anger that he did not have that ball. It was down. His hand was on the ball on the grass, but he did not have it up in the air.
Against players like Eric Rodriguez, you need to execute everything perfectly immediately, or that can happen, and that's exactly what happened here.
So here we have the Thunder has taken the lead now.
Yep, 3-2. Still only one out. 2 strikes.
High pop-up, 75 feet, right up into center. It's dropping right. Oh, and he is going to be safe, though.
It's going to be a tough play with his speed.
Zach could not quite get the ball up in the air in time, so that is going to be another score for the Thunder.
Lead 4-2.
Pitch. High pop-up, almost 80 feet up, center field. It's going right behind the first line of the. He is safe.
No chance.
That'll be tough.
5-2 lead that the Thunder has here now. They're building their momentum. Looks like it might be difficult to stop. Much anticipated game, as you can hear the Thunder out there sounding off out in the field. They're going to try to hold the Jets and keep them from gaining anything on them so they can hold their lead. High pop-up into left field, a good 70 feet up, dropping just over past Eric. But he is going to be safe. Eric could not quite, had his hands outstretched toward the ball, but didn't have them up enough to grab it and put it up in the air.
It's a big run for them, gets them back within 2 at 5-3.
High pop-up into center field, 70 feet or so in the air. Eric running over to get it in time, but not quite making it, fumbling it around in his arms as he was on the ground. So that is going to be another point. You can see the anger. Eric is just absolutely stalking back over to his position in left field.
Because in games like this, everything needs to be perfect, and Zach Arambula fast enough to beat that out. If you're even a half second slow, Eric could get that ball. And he respects the speed of Zach Arambula. You don't see a fielder like Eric Rodriguez make almost like 2 miscues in the same game. He did against the David Smith at bat earlier. And you saw on that one, it's got a little.
Now, Eric was coming from left field all the way to past center, between center and right field. So he was coming from a long way. And he was stretched out, had the ball between his hands on the ground, just couldn't quite get it. Hard line drive over the top of Eric Rodriguez. And it's past the outfielders. He is going to be safe. That just was a very hard staying afloat. It wasn't a pop-up, but it just did not come down. It had so much force behind it.
Dave Smith.
Oh, and a grounder. It popped up and it nailed Kevin Simpson in the knee. He seems to be walking all right. He was trying to jump out of the way, but it come up and it caught him in his left kneecap. Oh, and it's going to be a little grounder, but it's going straight to Eric. Let's see if he can grab it. And easy. He had that in time. That is going to be an easy out for Eric.
We call that room service.
Yep.
Room service.
And as soon literally third put out for him already to match Zach Arambula for game high honors. So both of them, defensive players that they are, showing it early in this game, the bottom of the second inning.
And we have a plane again overhead. Aaron
still
coming
not much
up.
of a factor.
And Aaron has some even his shoes are green. Now, this is like a totally devoted team with their color here. He's got Green Bay Packers socks on and then bright green cleats.
0 for 1 for him. Made an out back in the first. 2 outs in the second.
High up into left field. It's past Eric. Oh, I don't know if they're going to make this in time. Oh my gosh, he is out. That was about a half a second.
It's Miguel.
That is Miguel for the sliding over there, backing up Eric, running over for the baseline. That was only about 12 feet inside the third baseline.
Bounce.
Yep.
This is Miguel with a line drive right over to Zach, though. Again, room service, as you said.
Yep.
Totally right there. He was out.
4th put out for him, and I do believe that is the second time he has been a victim of Zach, and the second time he's hit it directly to Zach. So that's going to be out number 1.
We're back up with Eric Rodriguez at bat again. And I know he's been frustrated with some of those near misses out in the field. So it kind of makes me wonder if there's going to be a little extra burst of power behind some of these hits.
Well, he's 1 for 2 in this game, Rosina. In the second inning, we saw definitely an extra burst of speed as Zach Arambula was right there. He was right under him, and he was just about to pick it up, and suddenly
A hard grounder. It looks like it's going directly to Zach. And scooped it. Literally, as he laid down, he didn't even have to reach down his body. It was right at his chest. Just scooped it up, held it up, easy as pie.
But that's what you have to do. If he hadn't done that, it would have been a run. You have to make it. The only way he's out there, most likely, is if he hits that ball right to Zach. So, 1 for 3 start for him. And how about this? 2 quick outs for the Jets defensively, and Zach Arambula now up to 5 putouts in the game.
Well, Gerald Dykus is back up at bat, and they're going to have to grab this quick if they want to stop him from getting to the base in time.
Yeah, he's 1 for 2, was retired in the first.
It's bounced right at the pitcher, bounced off him. It's down into center. And again, Zach just nailing that. Just scooted over a little towards center and scooped it right up. Didn't even lay out flat. Just squatted down in front of it, laid down, popped it up. High pop up into left field. It looks like it's going to drop right behind Eric. And he scrambled it up, scooped it up though. That is out by Eric.
His 4th putout of the day, so he's on it. Obviously, it bounced behind him. Unfortunately for the batter, it didn't bounce past that point.
High pop up into left field. If this stays fair, it's going to be excellent. Yep, that is definitely fair. It bounced right on Miguel's head. He almost had it to his hands, and it bounced up on his head. He reached up above his head and grabbed the ball, but it was too late. That was safe.
The Jets now in front, 6-5 in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and nothing Miguel could really do about that. By the time that ball bounced, Zach Arambula just simply too fast.
Out there on Facebook, and it was pretty good.
Okay, that's a little grounder just past the pitcher in second. It made it into fair play. But he is out, and that is going to be Eric has got him out. Eric Rodriguez with a little bit of revenge there for some of those near misses.
Put out number 5 for him, and again, Kevin Simpson generally always knows. He again, kind of grunted once David Smith hit that ground ball. Trail only 6-5.
It's going to be a light grounder into left, just barely. Is it going to be fair? He is safe. Eric was sliding up as his hands reached out to grab the ball. He pushed the ball literally in front of him by about 3 inches, had to scoot himself forward because he was already stretched out at full capacity, and that is all it took for Axel to make it to the 3rd base. A solid hit over into left, but it went right to Eric. Food service, as they say.
So Zach Arambula says, look what I can do. Eric Rodriguez says, I can do the exact same thing. 3 putouts in the 3rd inning, 6 putouts through 3 innings for both men. The difference, however, the Jets do pick up a couple runs, and they lead 7-5. I'm Matt Wallace, Rosina Foster, John Margis.
That little grounder. It's going into left field. Will Zach get to that? And he is out. He did get it up in time. Zach.
What a base run. He still almost beat that out.
Yeah, the White brothers, they definitely have some speed.
Made the last 4 outs for the Thunder.
High pop up a good 85 feet in the air in center field, right behind Zach. There's no way. That is going to be a score.
I could hear how high it went, and when it gets that high with this speed, it's almost impossible to pick that up.
That was a good 85, 90 feet in the air, and then it landed right behind Zach. There was just really no way to get that.
3 for 3 now. He has been on it today, Corey White.
He doesn't waste much time.
And it's going to be a high over into left field behind Zach, going to Richie Flores. It fumbled out of his arms. He is going to be safe. That's going to tie it back up. The Thunder is feeling totally reinvigorated.
Richie's a good defender, and he'll recover.
It looked like it kind of rolled over his wrist. He didn't quite have it to his hands, and the speed on it, pop up center field right behind the pitch. It is tight. Can they get to it in time? He is safe. Ricky not quite making it in time. It was all the way up, maybe 6 inches past that 40-foot line.
And again, that's really a tough play. Those
sweet spot.
Coffin corners or balls that just go over that 40-foot line. A big run there.
It's going to be a line drive, just short into left field. It's going to go right to Zach, though, and he's got it up. Just crawled on his elbows, got it.
That's the 8th put out for him, the 2nd out of the inning, and Eric Rodriguez at the plate, only 1 for 4 in this game, trying to strategically place a line drive to try to outrun it. And it's hard to do when Zach Arambula is the guy short. keeps making those plays.
I'm Gerald up to bat here.
Hitless so far today, and he has one of the strikeouts. We're in the top of the 4th inning. Indy 8, Jets 7.
Oh, and a hard pop slammed down his ground left field. Zach running over to grab it, and he does. He has it out.
So 3 runs for the Thunder in the top of the 4th inning, but another trifecta for Zach Arambula, who has now been responsible for the last 6 outs recorded defensively for the Jets.
Hard line drive over into left field, past Eric, over to Miguel. Is he going to grab it in time? He has it, and he is out.
16.
That was Miguel with the put out. And we have Ricky up at bat here.
Rally going in the bottom of the 3rd to erase the 5-2 deficit. He got that rally started. First run of that inning. Only run he's scored in this game.
Oh, it's going to be a line drive along the left baseline, but Eric is going to slide right over there, snag it up. He had that easy, at least a good 10 feet before he was at the base.
7 for 7. 7 putouts for number 7, Eric Rodriguez. And all of a sudden, the Jets maybe not feeling so much like they have an advantage because Eric Rodriguez is taking care of business defensively in this inning.
It's going to be a solid pop-up into center, though. It's out past the field. They are running wild for it. He is easily safe. Way to go, Zach.
Not quite as fast of a base run as we've seen, but still fast enough. And once it got past Eric, it was a perfect beat baseball hit, as John has said throughout the course of this game. Just a pop-up in the air. Too long in the air for the defenders to really do anything about it. Zach had enough speed to burn to get to the base, and a sigh of relief for the Jets. They will not go to the 5th trailing. They've tied the game 8-8.
That would have really.
It's going to be a grounder over to left. You know that Eric is just going to try to scoop that up, and he is out. High pop-up over into left to center field. Dropping. Oh, it dropped right past Axel. Definitely, it dropped right in front of Axel and popped up between as he lifted his hands. It went right between them and went behind him.
After that, he had no chance.
There just wasn't enough time after that.
That's his 2nd run, and now here is really the star for the Thunder in this game. He's 3 for 3, and that's Corey. Third in this game.
High pop-up, a good 80 feet up in the air to left field. It looks like, oh, it landed right behind Zach. There was no way that he could get that.
Just a well-hit ball.
Yep, and both White brothers hit it behind Zach Arambula. That's a way to prevent him from making putouts. Hit it behind him, and they both have scored to lead off this inning. A little bit of danger time for the Jets. It's 10-8, and with still nobody out.
A hard slam drive over into right field. But he is out. They have him out. That is going to be, I believe, Ricky Ruzica. 2-3. Yes, it was. It was Ricky Ruzica.
That's his first putout. Unless your name is Zach Arambula or Dave Smith had a putout earlier, you haven't had a putout for the Jets. It's been the Zach Arambula show there. So a big putout on Kyle Lewis. Another really powerful drive by him. They adjusted accordingly, and that's a big first out in the inning. So 1-1 the count. 1 out in the inning.
And it's going to be a grounder just barely past the pitcher's legs. Oh, but he is out. And that is going to be Ricky, number 88 for the Jets with that put out.
So
scooted over to center to scramble it up.
So the Rickies making back-to-back plays for the Jets.
Little Ricky.
First out, yep. The first out wasn't Little Ricky. The second out was. One Ricky made to play deep. One Ricky made to play short. And it all adds up to 2 outs in the inning. Yeah, he's been put out a couple times. There's been a couple plays that he has.
Hard line drive. Almost smashed into Zach. Dropped to the ground, but Zach scooped it up and he is out. Eric was probably, Eric just punched first base in his frustration. You could definitely feel that. He was probably about 5 feet short of the base. So probably only 2.5 steps. Oh, a solid line drive. Kevin had to slice out of the way behind Eric, and he is going to be out, though. That is 41. That is Adam Rodenbeck with the put out.
Adam Rodenbeck is, I'm assuming, their designated fielder because he hasn't come up to the plate for this game.
Eric Rodriguez makes most of the plays. You need to have your unsung heroes make plays.
Oh, and that's going to be a pop, but it's going over to Eric. And he just scoops that up, laying down, slides between his arms, scoops it all the way up and out.
That's the 8th put out for him in this game.
A high pop-up, probably about 65 feet, just behind the pitcher's line. Eric is crawling for it, rolled over it. But he had him out. As he rolled over the ball, he grabbed it and held it up as he twisted back over from his stomach onto his back.
And I talked about the critical inning for the Jets defensively when Zach Arambula made all 3 putouts in the bottom of the 3rd inning. What a critical defensive play for the Thunder, starting with Adam as the defensive fielder, and then 2 putouts by Eric Rodriguez, and a 1-2-3 inning at the worst time from a San Antonio perspective. So going to the top of the 6th, it is 10-8 Thunder.
A lot of conversation there between the pitcher and Gerald. And it's going to be a line drive over between center and right field, past Ricky. And it is going to be out.
They said 7.
Oh, 7, yep, David Smith. I see it now.
Well, either way, that's his 2nd putout of the game. Hasn't made one since earlier in this game, 1st or 2nd inning, but that's his 2nd, and that's a really good one by him to lead off the inning because the White brothers are coming up.
Corian up at bat. Oh, hard line drive over on the left, past Zach, but he's rushing back to grab, and he has it. He snagged that up.
Jets defense stepping up big right now.
Absolutely. That's the 11th putout.
Ran back about 12 feet, almost running alongside the ball as it rolled on the ground, and then slamming down to scoop it up.
So the full count. This is it. Top of the 6th, Thunder up by 2, trying to extend their lead.
High pop-up, like 80, 90 feet up in the air, back behind. Oh, just landed on Axel's foot and rolled off. He is safe. It landed on his left foot on the toe part and then bounced off over towards center line.
5 for 5 for Corey White from the plate. He's just gotten it done all day. And here's Kyle Lewis, who has 2 runs of his own, so he's been a power threat all day.
Definitely having to watch it over here in right field with the double Rickies. Oh, slamming drive way past out, and they are still running. He is safe. Absolutely. That was just very well placed right over the top of their heads. And again, it didn't drop. It was not a pop-up, but it just stayed airborne all the way out past the far fielders. It was kind of flew about 2 feet right above all the players' heads. This is Miguel up at bat. It's going to be bouncing along on the left.
Should be a
3rd, and that's going to Zach has that picked up just like that. But not exactly room service, but that was pretty easy for him to crawl to and grab.
So 12 putouts for him, and the inning is over. But
high pop up into left field. It looks like it's going to go right about to where, but it dropped in front of Eric. Eric has to run forward. He's on the ball. He is safe. Yes, Eric did knock that ball fall. Oh, you can see the anger. He grabs the ball and throws it. He would not have had that out. He was about a half a second there.
10 times, everyone on both sides trying to get the calls to go their way, but Kemp jumps in and says he knocked it out.
And that's what Kemp is, just a top flight umpire. He was just immediately on it. They called it a foul ball. There was no, wait, was it fair or foul? Let's go confer. He immediately just jumped in.
Exactly
it was fair. It was foul because he knocked it foul. That's fair. That's a run. 12-9. Actually, I believe ready to resume. Yes.
Solid hit by Aaron. It just rolled out past Eric. Oh, it stumbled off. Oh, it's fumbling, and he is safe.
Big run there by Zach.
Zach Arambula, 12-10, nobody out.
It rolled right past Eric and Adam. It bounced out of his hands, kind of his upper arms as he was trying to grab a hold of it, and he scrambled to get a hold of it, but just could not get it in time. So that is definitely going to be.
Zach has had a really big-time game.
4 for 5 at the plate, 12 putouts. If the Jets wind up winning this game, I'm sure we'll all agree he's the player of the game for sure.
You can hear the heckling and yelling out in the field by the Thunder.
It's 3 strikes now. Sometimes the 3 strikes they try to shorten up. Ooh.
It's going to be a line popper, but it's going straight to Eric. He's got it by his knees, scrambling, and he is up and out. That is Eric with another putout.
That's 10 for him. So we've seen 2 players in this game that have double-digit putouts. That's remarkable. 1 strike, 1 out.
it's going to be a line drive for Axel, but again, it's going right to Eric. Scoops it right up, lays down, and he has it.
11 for him now. And this is it now for the Thunder. They are 1 out away from victory. Let's see what kind of heart this team has to try to rally for Kevin Simpson. Keep the game going.
Bat tucked up tight against his body.
Swing and a miss.
Sweeping, and
That
he is
will do
out.
it.
There it is, folks. That is 10-12 Thunder as the Thunder runs off the field, and the remaining bench players are running onto the field to meet them, grabbing cheers, hugging, throwing one another around.
12-10 in favor of the Thunder.